Good morning! We are out for a foresty walk in big woodlands, and I love these woods. It's a little bit noisy because there's two highways alongside it, but it's got birch trees, and birch trees are one of my favorite trees.
Good boys!
So I might be wrong, but if my memory recalls correctly from my childhood, I was told that it used to be believed that fairies lived in birch trees, and I like to still believe that. So when I take a walk in this woodland, I'm always like, oh, we're surrounded by magic. I was really into like fairy and witchcrafty stuff when I was a kid, and they definitely do have a magical feel to them, and they are each so unique. I just love a birch tree. But yeah, so welcome back to another week. I just am finishing editing last week's vlog that's gone up on Friday, and today I am starting a new one, and we are going to be diving into sequencing, how to sequence classes, whether that is for yourself, if you are a practitioner that enjoys practicing on your own or would like to get into it, or whether you are a yoga teacher and you'd like to compare notes or get inspired. Maybe you are still quite new to it. I'd say everyone's gonna have their own way, so you kind of have to try and error a few times to find the way that works for you. So when it comes to sequencing classes or flows for classes, lots of people write notes or they draw their sequences out. I personally don't draw them out because I don't find it effective for me. I am neurodiverse and I have ADHD, and for me the notes are very distracting to have them out in front of me. I much prefer to feel things in my body and memorize them. For some reason that works better for me, but by all means, if it's more helpful for you, have it written out and keep the book in front of you. Lots of people teach with their notepads open next to their mats, so they can just see the sequence, and maybe after a few times you thought it in the class in the week, then you won't need the notebook anymore. But it's always nice to have it to kind of fall back onto. Sometimes I keep it though for things like if I want to teach like a longer class or workshop, for more like themes and quotes and things like that. What you often would see in my classes, if you come to mine, is I would bring a book that I read a piece from. So that I do. So I just like mark the page I want to read from, but I don't keep the whole sequence written down. A benefit of writing down your sequences, I think, especially when you're starting out, is that you can get inspired in future. So you don't need to kind of working smarter rather than harder. So you can always come back to your old sequences and repeat them. Don't be afraid to repeat the sequences, because people don't remember. They go to other classes as well and they most likely won't remember, or maybe they enjoyed it and they actually really like to repeat it. I remember taking the same class with someone months apart, and I remembered it because the first time I enjoyed it so much, so the second time she taught the class months and months later, I was so excited. So yeah, repeating sequences and themes is perfectly fine and good for you to do, and good for your students. So recycle them, and hence making some form of notes, keeping some form of track that works for you is really helpful. Just want to show you this bit. It's so cute. Oh my god, so magical. Thing that you can then do is you can kind of puzzle different ones together. So this you can teach the same sequence but with a different theme, and it will feel completely differently in the body. So one thing that we've done in my teacher training was they gave us an assigned sequence, a class plan that they have designed, that was like a great all-round for like all-round body practice. Hey buddy, come on, good boy. Excellent! His recall is awesome now, honestly. He's done such a good progress. compared to 7 months ago. So we were teaching the same class, but we would theme it differently. So we could individually pick the theme and then teach it. We were teaching each other with a different theme, the same class, and every time it was a different experience. So you can totally recycle your sequences and put them with a different theme, or recycle the theme and put it with a different sequence. So once I'm at home, or I might do it in the studio, we'll see, I will dive into actually how to sequence the classes, so break down the different types of postures that we have into groups, and how kind of sequencing works, that it actually makes sense. So you are building up to your peak poses, and you can incorporate conditioning into them, warm-ups, cool-downs, and all of these things. But for now, I just wanted to dive into kind of like the admin side of it, let's say. And personally, I teach the same sequence pretty much. It's the same sequence the whole week, although I teach different class styles. So what I do is, again, work smarter, not harder, is I pick a theme that I carry with me throughout the week usually. Most of the time is this way, and then I pick a sequence, and then what I do is, for the more uplifting, more strengthening, more dynamic classes that I teach, so like vinyasa classes, power yoga classes, I add more elements and more peak poses, and for the hatha and slow flow classes, I take some out and I focus more on slowing down and strengthening in the poses I'm keeping. And then in my flow to restore classes, it's the combination of the flow and the yin I'm teaching of the week. So the yin would usually be the same either theme in terms of the mind practice, or the same theme in terms of the body practice. So what I mean by that is that your theme can be a focus on an area in the body, or it can be a focus in terms of the mind stuff, so like the philosophy. So I keep the same theme in whichever part it is, and I find the poses that reflect that. So the flow to restore then becomes the combination of my yin practice, so half of that with half of the slow flow. That's it. So I remember everything, and yeah, I feel like it gets seasoned and more enjoyable over the course of the week. So usually the biggest difference is between my Tuesday morning class, which is my first flow class of the week that I teach in person, compared to the last flow class I teach on Friday. Because maybe during the week I find different tweaks that I think work better. And I also always teach the room. So if you are a yoga teacher, teaching the room means that you are observing your students. It's not about you, it's about their practice. So if you are noticing that they are maybe more tired today, then even if you have planned something, then you can adjust it, whether that's verbally, so making sure they are aware that these are offerings, they don't have to take them all, or by slightly tweaking the sequence, taking some bits out, and maybe adding some other bits in. So that's kind of something to bear in mind, let's say. Right, let me recall the dogs because we're getting close to the roads and I want to turn around. This way. Waiting. Waiting. Good waiting. Waiting. Good waiting. Waiting. Excellent. Follow. Follow. Very good. Yes, good smile. And this way. Excellent. Over there. Off you go. Yes. Off you go. Very good boys. It's so muddy. It's gonna be a pleasure to hold this. With Spud is because we are still working on his recall and he still has reactivity. He has improved a lot, but when it comes to close range things and things suddenly appearing, he will become reactive. So I need to have the lead on him so I can anytime step onto the lead to reinforce my commands. He does have really good obedience, but sometimes he can be a bit of a cheeky chap, especially when it's out of the blue. So I just have to constantly keep an eye out and be able to step on his lead. So then what happens is, when it's muddy, which is in the UK about 50% of the time at least, I just get really dirty hands by the time I get home, and clothes. But I'd rather have it this way than just have him on short lead constantly. When it's safe, he can walk on his own, where we are able to keep distance and be alone. Come on, darling! Come on! Yes, 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 yes! Good boy! Little bullet. What is this? A car this way? Rio, come this way! How is that coming this way? Come on, this way, guys. Some type of like tree thing. Rio, come on, quickly. Let's get out of the way. Come on. Quickly, let's get out of the way. Oh, that's my hand. My other hand. And my trousers. From trying to hide in the car. I guess at this point I can just rub it in. Okay, now look at that. Okay, this is a bit much. Let's use this tree and this one. Wish there was like a bigger leaf I could use. Yes. Good job. All right, leave it. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? Go! Good job! Come on! Yes, 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 yes! Good job! Oh, we are covered in mud. Honestly, we are all going in a washing machine. Gonna take a bath together. Look at that. I've been wiping my hands in the trees. Oh, I got no tissue. There we go. That will do. Thank you, tree. Thanks. There's some really nice boats out today. Look at this. And good boy. Good boy. See. 3, 2, and 1. Good boy. Wait here. Wait here. Wait here. Wait. 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 Oh, mwah. Good boy. Yeah. Boy. Good boy. Can I see this bow? What's wrong with it? Is it hurt? Can I see? Is it? Let me see it. Good boy. Let me see it. Yes, let me see it. Where does it hurt? Oh, I need a bit of siesta. That was a lot. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and subscribe. Stay around because there is a new video up every Friday. Coming up, we'll be actually diving into how to sequence the classes. So actually explaining how to make a class plan. So make sure to stay tuned for that one. Hit the bell button so you don't miss it. And you can also follow me on Instagram for more everyday stuff, and you can buy me a coffee if you'd like to support me with a little bit of a spare change, let's say. Thank you so much once again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!